right. What's your name?
I'm Brent.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
And your major?
Journalism.
Now, do you have a Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
What was your last status update?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea? Do you know your last post? Your last like?
Nope.
Your last poke?
Scott Patterson.
Oh, there you go. Do you have an ongoing poke fest with Scott Patterson?
Yeah, him and Jeff Presnell.
He was in my dream last night.
Who?
Scott Patterson. I think with Spencer. Doing some golf stuff. Yeah. Okay, so do you tell me now, do you know when the last time you did have a status update? I mean, you don't have to know it what it was, but
it's probably about a week ago.
A week ago, but you can't remember what it was. Can
Just
you
assuming.
reflect on?
I've had some cool pictures lately that I've been tagged in,
Uh-huh.
but
And
I
you
didn't post them.
But you can remember those pictures?
Yeah, they were yesterday.
Yeah.
2 pictures.
Yeah.
Kinda cool.
And you like the feel of having someone tag you in a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think that the pictures are more ingrained in your memory for now than what you posted on there?
I don't know, probably because most of the stuff I post is stupid the next day.
Right.
But the pictures are things that I'd like to take with me, beyond Facebook. That's probably one thing.
Would you consider your posts, you reference that your posts are stupid the next day? Sometimes, I'm guessing. Do you, or would you say most of the time?
I don't know. I mean, at a point, they're all I look back at posts from 2 years ago, and it reminds me of who I was at that moment. But it's amazing how much I feel like that is. I'm not like that anymore.
Right.
I was so young back then. So I figure even the posts I'm posting now, in 2 years, I'll look back at and be like,
kind of an always fleeting memory of what you once were.
Right, and almost, yeah, that's more of an essence thing. Pictures are an experience. I'll look at those things. Oh, I remember where I was that day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a good moment. I got sunburned that day at the beach.
Right.
Whatever, But see, I see posts, I guess, as more of, at least posts from myself.
Right.
As more of trying to generate likes.
Right.
For the most part.
Right. Social recognition.
Right. And, it's nice when those things just happen. But even then, the concept of a like, it's is that really something worth striving for? I was going to say, it's cool yesterday. I interviewed Zac Efron with a friend, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real nerdy kid. And but he was a good companion. And we went and shot Zac Efron, and afterwards he posted chilling with Zac Efron, and posted the picture, and it was all on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, tagged me in it. So when I got home, I got to see, a bunch of people that I'm friends with from school or from work got to like it, and, it was cool.
Definitely. Back to your own statuses that you put on, or your own posts that you put on to Facebook. You kind of mentioned that looking back on it kind of captures an essence of your past. What do you think you would have done with those thoughts at the time, if you can put yourself back in time and imagine conjuring those notions of your essence? What do you think you would have done with them had Facebook not been there?
It's interesting because it's become such it's a coping method, almost coping mechanism. You know, it's like you have a shitty day, you go home and you put it into some sort of words, and then based on your response, you kind of form an idea of it, subconsciously, consciously, and then you move on. And you know, maybe if your friends reach out to you and say something on Twitter, on Facebook, it'll feel better. But if that weren't there, then you would have to kind of seek that cheering up, coping through actual physical means. I think. But it's almost unfathomable to think about life without social networks.
And we talked about social recognition for generating likes and stuff. Do you think, when you think about those thoughts to post on Facebook, do you have a necessity to generate likes, and you conjure something up to generate likes, or do you have a thought and then the thought pre-exists the desire to generate likes, so then you go to Facebook?
The two almost work together. Like, I have a thought, and I know it'll generate likes, you know. But also, when I post something, anything I post, I want to be likable. So anything I post, knowing that all my friends are then seeing it, I'm going to want to be likable. So I'm going to want, obviously, if I'm posting it, it's because I want my friends to see it, or else I wouldn't. Or maybe I would in a different way.
Would you consider the terms likable and agreeable as equally desirable?
No, not at all. Likable is people like, I like that person. Maybe he's not agreeable, but he comes across as likable because, you know, he's got different ideas.
Do you think oftentimes people confuse the two? If on Facebook, especially, like if they don't agree with you, they kind of just don't like you? And does that play into your posts at all? Because you want to be likable?
I'm trying to remove my friends to as many people who I feel are actually my friends. That whether I post something agreeable or not, it won't change my likability with that person.
Okay.
It might inevitably
with
some people, but at least those are the people, I guess, that I consider likable. But maybe not always agreeable. I do think people on Facebook and in the real world do confuse agreeability and likability, because people will like you for standing up to a crowd, you know? Especially if you have compelling reasons for being non-agreeable.
Right.
Which I think a lot of people do.
Right. Do you see a lot of people doing that on Facebook, standing up and maybe going against the grain of agreeability?
Well, most people post to Facebook sitting down, but I guess with iPhones, you can probably Facebook while standing. But other than that, I don't think there's such thing as standing up.
Okay. So
that would require maybe posting a video in which you're making a statement or, you know, a picture, but nothing that somebody says on Facebook is going to defend, like, or really drive a point as much as almost every other way of communication.
So until Face Pop-Up Book comes around, there's no standing up in Facebook. Face legs. Now, you mentioned the iPhone and people having it on their iPhones. Do you have Facebook on your iPhone? Do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
I assumed. I knew you had an iPhone.
Yeah.
But you do have Facebook on your iPhone?
No.
No, you don't?
No.
Reason for that?
For a long time, it was like, I get it. This is back in the day, early freshman, sophomore year. This was just kind of new. I get it. I use it to the point where I was like, this is too instantaneous. Like, I don't want to be getting, these are not personalized messages. And if somebody likes a post or a picture I was tagged in, and I get a notification instantly, like, that's not important, you know? So I deleted it, and I guess for the last year or so, I just haven't had it on there. It's too convenient. I can already go to a laptop and use Facebook with something that captivating,
Mm-hmm.
it's too convenient to have on a phone.
Yeah.
There are things that are like more convenient, but they're typically not social networks. You know, they're like, I guess Twitter, that's a way you receive news or your information, not necessarily news, but whatever you're interested in.
Yeah.
That might be a useful, instantaneous app.
Can you describe your default picture on Facebook?
Sure, it's Ron Artest and a bunch of my friends and I in San Diego club performance thing that he did, and it's in defense of his recent suspension. It's silent defense. I'm not making a big statement with it, but just showing my support.
Okay. What other social networks are you a user of? And then what other social networks would you consider yourself active in?
I think I'm a user of Twitter, Tumblr. I got about 7 or 8 blogs on WordPress. Started or stopped for whatever reasons, classes, actual projects, but they typically are short-lived. 10 weeks, 12 weeks is probably the most. Active. What are some other ones? Google Plus. I think I signed up for that, but my circles are so small that why would I check? You know.
Just polka dot.
LinkedIn. I'm getting more active in that just in case people are really.
Just in case. Enough said.
Yeah. Just in case.
And let's see, Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite out of any of those besides you could throw Facebook in there.
I like Instagram.
Instagram?
Cool. But then again, you know, there's people who abuse it. I don't check it every day. I just think it's cool for like when you're maybe on a vacation or out when you're having experiences that you want to share with your friends. It's like you don't have to put it in words. You don't even need to try to. You're just like it's art there.
Yeah.
It's like artistic expression.
Do you consider yourself an artist outside of Instagram?
Yes. I think most people who are considered artists on Instagram. Well, I don't know. My roommate, he Instagrammed a baby doll for like 10 or 11 weeks, and he called that art. So it's really, I guess anyone could be an artist on Instagram, you know. But art is kind of outside of social network, I think. Something more physical.
Okay. Do you think
like this poster I have of JFK with a beard? You get that? Yeah. That's art.
That's art.
Right.
That's your artistic stuff. Have you had any kind of inclination to put that on Instagram?
No, but I might after this interview.
Okay. Great.
Done?
Good interview. Thank you for going through the social network gauntlet.
Sorry, Jeremy.